Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you're an app developer, you've probably hit that execute button more times than you can count. But have you ever really stopped to think about what's happening in that split second after you click? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret life of an app report.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to follow a report's journey from the moment it's born all the way to the final output you see on the screen. It's a whole hidden world in there. Okay, so let's get right into it. Every single report you write lives through these four main phases. And I'm telling you, once you get this sequence down, it completely changes how you code. We're talking cleaner, faster, and way less buggy reports.
First up, we have Phase 1, the preparation. Think about it. A lot has to happen before you even see that familiar selection screen pop up. So what's going on behind the scenes?
This is where the initialization event comes into play. It's literally the first thing that happens. It's your one and only chance to set the stage. Get all your props in order by setting up default values for your parameters.
And this is where it gets cool. Instead of just hard coding a default, you can do some really clever stuff here. Check this out. With just a couple lines of code in the initialization event, we can figure out the last day of the previous month. Let's see how this little bit of magic works.
Okay, so first, the code grabs today's date, but it ignores everything except the day part. It just says, nope, you're now the first. So boom, we're at the first day of the current month.
And then, the real trick. It just subtracts one single day. And what happens when you go back one day from the first of the month? You land perfectly on the last day of the previous month. It's so simple, but so powerful. And think about it. This is a super common business need, and we've already solved it before the user has even laid eyes on the screen.
All right, our defaults are set, the stage is ready. Now we move into Phase 2. This is where the report finally starts to talk to the user, right there on the selection screen.
And when you're handling that user input, you've got a choice to make. You can use @SelectionScreen to check everything the user entered all at once. But if there's an error, the whole screen lights up. Or you can be more surgical and use @SelectionScreen on a specific field. That way, if something's wrong, only that one field is highlighted for the user to fix. It's a much better user experience, right?
But, this whole back and forth with the user, it can get a little messy. Here's a classic problem I see on developer forums all the time.
So what's going on here? Why isn't the program working? It all comes down to a timing issue. When the user does something like hitting the F4 help or changing a radio button, the screen updates instantly, but the program's memory, well, it hasn't caught up yet. It's still holding on to the old values. It's like it's living a few milliseconds in the past.
So how do you fix this? You need a secret weapon. And that weapon is a function module called dynpValuesRead. Think of it like this. It lets your code pause for a second, reach out directly to the screen and ask, hey, what does the user actually have selected right now? It bypasses the lagging memory and gets you the real-time truth. Okay, so we've set our defaults, we've talked to the user, we've validated their input. Now, it's time for the main event. We're moving on to the report's real mission, crunching the data. And that brings us to start of selection. This is the big one. This is the workhorse. Once all that initial setup and validation is done, this is where your main logic lives. Your big select statements, your loops, your calculations, all the heavy lifting happens right here.
Now after that, there's also an end of selection event. To be honest, you're not going to use this a ton in brand new reports. It's a bit of a holdover from older ways of doing things, especially with structures called logical databases. But hey, if you're maintaining older code, you've absolutely got to know what it does.
Okay, the data has been gathered, the numbers have been crunched, we're in the home stretch now. The final phase is all about making that data look good and presenting it to the user.
And this is where you can add some real professional polish to your reports. You've got the top of page event, which is perfect for printing your column headers on every new page, and end of page, which is great for things like page numbers or totals at the bottom.
But there's a catch, a really important one. The end of page event will do absolutely nothing unless you specifically tell the report to save some room for a footer. You have to add the line count option to your main report statement at the very top of your program. It's a classic rookie mistake to forget that.
So we've talked through this whole life cycle, right? From initialization all the way to the final output. But talking about it is one thing. How can you actually see it? How can you watch this all unfold in real time?
The answer is every app developer's best friend, the debugger. It's like having X-ray vision for your code. It lets you literally pause time and walk through your program step by step, watching each one of these events trigger one after the other.
And turning on this X-ray vision is super easy. The quickest way is just to type /H into the command field right before you hit execute. Poof, you're in the debugger. Or, if you want to stop at a specific spot, you can just click in the margin next to a line of code and set what's called a breakpoint. Either way, you're in control.
So now that you can see this whole hidden flow, it really makes you think, doesn't it? Knowing this life cycle, it changes you. You stop being someone who just writes lines of code, and you start becoming an architect. Someone who designs reports that are